Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about comic books and superheroes. Specifically, we're talking about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman has recently had a remodel and a reimagining that was done, and it's definitely sparked people's interest. Now, they're going to claim there was some shaming involved in this and people were really outraged, but really, I think people just thought it was funny. There was this funny new version of Wonder Woman that came out, which we're going to get to, that basically envisioned her as like a sort of plus size model kind of person. You know, this kind of trend. They're having these plus size models advertising for things like Calvin Klein. They're putting them on the runway. It's this whole kind of spin-off and offshoot of what we used to call the fat acceptance movement. That was an SJW thing too. It started around the time that a lot of this leftist stuff started, like back in 2015, 2016, when all these causes started to gain traction. There was things like, pro-alphabet people, LGBTQ, pro all other kinds of things, pro-female, feminism, there's pro like disability people, there's pro this and that. And one of the ones that popped up is fat acceptance. One of the things we've talked about before in a lot of videos, in a number of instances. And today is going to be kind of related to that. Today we're going to talk about this new version of Wonder Woman that they came up with. It's an interesting picture and an interesting look, to say the least. And what we're going to also do is we're going to answer the question, why can't Wonder Woman be plus size? Now, I think it's a pretty obvious answer. To me, it's pretty simple, and I'm not saying she can't, but I think it's just most people wouldn't prefer that. And we're going to talk about why soon. We're going to get into the details, check out the picture, and all this fun stuff. But first, let's take a moment to check out our sponsor. Hey guys, I'm here to talk about this awesome pro police coin that you have all been very interested in recently. We started giving away this police coin last month, and we had a lot of great takers on this offer. Basically, all you have to do is pay for shipping, and you could get yourself a very nice golden coin that has engraved police images on it. This is to support our men in blue, to show that we support these heroes who are saving our country, protecting us from evil, and stopping all that crime out there, at least the best they can. I know the leftists and everyone want to defund the police, but here at NoBS, we're here to support them. And really, one of the best ways you can do that is signing up and getting one of these free cop coins. They're free for a limited time. You just have to pay shipping. So if you're interested, make sure you check out the link below today's video. And for now, let's get back to the show. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's talk more about the Wonder Woman story. Here's an article from Allure that has more details. It says, why can't Wonder Woman be plus size? Artist Robin Eisenberg reimagined Wonder Woman with a bigger body. A few people saw it as a fat-shaming opportunity, but many comic book fans love the interpretation. I highly doubt that is true at all, but we'll give them a chance. We'll talk about it. This is a bunch of versions of Wonder Woman. I believe there was like a 75th anniversary recently. There's also a new Wonder Woman movie coming. I believe it was supposed to come this summer, but a lot of things got canceled and delayed. But at some point, the next Wonder Woman movie, called Wonder Woman 1984, I believe, is coming out soon, which is pretty interesting, actually, because we are living in a kind of 1984 time. And we're in this point of history where things are a lot like that 1984 book, where like the government is getting bigger, the liberals are taking over, they're playing all these word games that had been warned about for ages. Like we said, in 1984, books like Fahrenheit 451, of things like, post-apocalyptic Big Brother kinds of things that we've seen time and time again. And that seems to be happening now, and it's tied back to this Wonder Woman character. Here's the picture in question, by the way, just before we get too far into it. This is the plus-size Wonder Woman that everyone's talking about. And yeah, I could see why people kind of had a laugh at it. I mean, I'm not going to fat shame. I'm not trying to like body shame. Like, that's what they say. And I don't really think a lot of people are doing that. Like, this body shaming is just kind of like a cop-out. It's trying to shame the people that don't like this look, when really I think it's just funny and interesting and woke. Like, the way they went with it, it looks like, first of all, it looks like they're trying to make it more like a minority character, like possibly like a black chick. I don't know what the skin color here is. It doesn't look like it's white. It looks like it's like blue, like it's maybe alien person or something. But yeah, they have the kind of afro-like black hair, the big booty, like the mom jeans kind of look. And yeah, it's just funny because it's not what you would want for Wonder Woman. I mean, to answer the question, like, the reason you wouldn't make Wonder Woman this way is like, she's an action star. She's supposed to be this badass fighter type who would obviously be in good shape. I mean, this isn't the worst shape in the world. Like, there's nothing wrong with a few extra pounds. Like, I'm not trying to shame anyone for their size, but it's just it doesn't fit with a superhero. It's like having a big Superman, or like, like if Batman had like a jelly roll, or like love handles or something. It doesn't make sense. But this is the world we're living in. Things need to be reimagined and redone like this for whatever reason, for these SJWs to be happy. And I think, we already answered the question, though. This is a reimagining. I believe it comes from Rooster Teeth. This is a website that we've talked about before. They used to be pretty big on YouTube. They've kind of gone beta, though. They've gone very, very left wing. In fact, Rooster Teeth just recently announced they're like removing some of their older videos because they're not woke anymore. They're like maybe offensive. They used to have a lot of comedy on their show. They used to be edgier, and now they're going down the left wing rabbit hole, and we're seeing stuff like this come from them, which is just really funny. And not the worst drawing ever. It just doesn't look like Wonder Woman. I mean, this is not what you would imagine a hero looking like. This looks like someone, who has a couple kids, and maybe she's a hero to those kids. She's like babysitting hero or something. She's great at making sacked lunches, but it doesn't look like, the Amazonian princess that Wonder Woman is really supposed to be. So with that said, let's read on a little bit more and see what the story goes. We get it. When you love an iconic character, it's easy to become fiercely loyal to a specific incarnation of said character, usually the one to which you first introduced or the most popular and recognizable version. But as fan fiction and fan art have revealed, people reimagine characters lots of different ways, none of which are inherently wrong or bad. It's just a way to exercise creativity and express love for the subject. So I'm not really a big fan of this kind of like hippy dippy, like everything's okay interpretation of stuff. I mean, they're right in a way. Like, I mean, no one has a wrong opinion, like you can have an opinion and it's not like wrong to you. Like everyone could like something different, but there are interpretations of characters that are better than others. There are ones that are more compelling, more accurate, more believable. It depends on the situation, but there's definitely like better versions of things. And to deny that is just to kind of be like, oh, let's give everyone a participation trophy. Like everyone deserves a chance. It's like, no, but there's a reason why, Batman is usually portrayed as this dark and brooding detective-like character. Superman is more a bright, happy, like uplifting type character, and if you tried to swap those, I mean, you could. They had a darker Superman kind of story in Man of Steel, but the happier Batman story, I mean, then you go back to things like the old Batman, the campy Adam West Batman, which was good for its time, of course, but that also failed in the present. That's kind of what they try to do with Batman and Robin. Like, are you really going to say that interpretation isn't inherently wrong or bad? Like, most people are united on the fact that, like, Batman and Robin, the one with George Clooney and Chris Conley, like, that was a bust. That was a tough movie to watch. And I still liked it. I was a kid at the time. I liked all the Batman movies. But the point is, some interpretations are better than others, and that's why people prefer them more. That's why they get more popular. And then I'm not saying anyone's wrong, but this is like an interpretation that would not be doing well. This is like the Batman and Robin kind of interpretation of Wonder Woman. When artist Robin Eisenberg was recently asked to create a piece inspired by Wonder Woman, she brought her unique artistic style to the interpretation she did. I love drawing aliens with realistic body types, living their lives comfortable with themselves, she wrote in a post about the piece on both Instagram and Twitter. So I drew an alien character with a realistic body wearing a more everyday version of the Wonder Woman outfit. DC, the entertainment company behind Wonder Woman, decided to use the illustration for a variant cover and tweeted it out to DC Nation Twitter account, which is when Eisenberg learned that some fans' devotion is less like loyalty and more like narrow-minded fat shaming. So okay, there's a little bit wrong here too. I mean, you can disagree with an interpretation and the whole idea that it's automatically like fat shaming. I don't really see any fat shaming yet. Like, I haven't seen any comments or anyone specifically saying like, oh, she's gross and fat or something like that. Like, we never said that here. We never heard anyone say that. So as far as we know, they're just making that up and that's their excuse. And it seems to be like a shield that they're using. Like, they're saying like, oh, if you don't like this, you hate fat people. It's kind of like the shield they used on Ghostbusters 2016. That movie was terrible and no one was looking forward to it. And they basically said, if you don't like this movie, you don't like women. Like, it's like if you say you don't like Black Panther from Marvel, they say you don't like black people. It's just a terrible, terrible defensive mechanism that is just not true. Like, you cannot like something and it doesn't mean you're racist or offensive or like body shaming. It's just, this doesn't fit. This isn't a style that we like. It's not even just the body type, which again, they say this is a more normal body type, which I actually don't agree with. Like, I understand there's not a lot of buff people that are as ripped as like a Superman or Wonder Woman, but they're out there. Like, those are real body types too. Like, there are muscle people, there are like superhero type people. Some of them are even born and are naturally muscular or skinny. So to act like this interpretation is more normal is actually kind of misleading too, because it's like, this is not just because it's like an everyday version of Wonder Woman. It's like, oh, realistic body. Well, like, them having muscles and being ripped is realistic too. In fact, some might even say it's more realistic for the character. We're talking about a character who's not only a hero who saves the world all the time. Like, Wonder Woman is like an Amazonian princess. She's like a godlike character. She's like lived forever and having all these kinds of like powers and stuff. So to make that realistic, I mean, that's just not true. That's just not what they're really doing. It's just word plays right here, and I'm not really buying it. I didn't realize that featuring a Wonder Woman inspired character with a realistic body type would be controversial. Apparently it is, Eisenberg wrote, adding that once the variant cover was tweeted, it was immediately met with hundreds of comments hating on her body, as well as on the non-traditional art style and on me personally. So she's trying to like back off the haters, you know, like act like, oh, she's better than this. But let's go ahead and look at it. I mean, let's see here. I got the tweet from DC. Let's see if there's any like actual fat shaming. I mean, if it was like really prevalent, we would probably see the comments right away, right? So some people say it's bad. They're saying goodbye. The longer you look at it, the worse it gets, especially the face. So this isn't even necessarily commenting on the weight of it. You know, it's not all about the weight of the person. I don't know. I think that's just, again, that's just their excuse. I'm not seeing any fat shaming. I'm not seeing any comments about someone saying they're fat, someone saying anything like that. Like, why is she blue? That's what I was wondering. It's like an alien version that's weird. So all I'm seeing is WTF comments and like people just not liking the art style, wondering about the color, like why it's an alien, you know, why the face looks strange. And yeah, so I think we've debunked this fully. I mean, they're trying to claim that it was because of fat shaming or because of like, you know, offensive stuff, but that's just what the SJWs do. Like, everything is kind of racist to them. They claim that everything is offensive. And, you know, they're just going to use their go-to excuses to try to like shy away their haters, when really we could see the real reasons why people might not like this. Like, it's the art style. It's out of character for this person. Like, this character has been long running, 75 years, you know, like many, like consistent portrayals. And then to all of a sudden make it this blue alien with the big butt. I mean, it doesn't have to do with like the body shaming. It's just, it doesn't fit. I mean, it's not saying anything's wrong with that kind of person or this artist. And I think they're just using this as an excuse. And we can all kind of see that is very, very clear by now. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit that like button to get this video shared. Subscribe if you're new and hit the bell for notifications as well. Until next time, have a great day.